Hello everyone, let's talk about the hardest soulsborne games. Oh yeah, just so you know, this top will be based only on my first playthrough, and also I don't really care how other YouTubers rank them. I will start with the easiest one first, and then we will slowly reach the hardest one. The easiest soulsborne game is without a doubt Elden Ring. Yes, despite the fact that many very smart people typed under my comments that I am bad at this game, I think that there is not a easier soulsborne game than Elden Ring. Why? Well, the answer to it is very easy. Where, even in theory, you can have any problems in this game, well, any real problems in this game, while exploring locations? No, because most of the time you are just riding your horse and avoid all mobs, and even if there are locations in which you can't ride your horse, you can just walk forward, and besides Halik 3, I can't imagine anyone having any real problems while exploring these locations. Are rambucks hard? Well, also no, because besides Renala, bonfires are next to bosses and you just walk for a few seconds and that's it. Maybe basic mobs? Also no, because you can just walk past them. Maybe bosses? Well, also no, but also yes. In Elden Ring, you can easily be overpowered while not even trying. If you explore all these optional dungeons, if you use summons, if you use busted weapons with disbalanced ashes of war, or if you use bloodless weapons, you will turn any boss apart in less than a minute. Your only argument is Malenia, but Malenia is just a disbalanced piece of shit. Other than her who? Maliket, if you explore locations even for a bit, or if you are level 112, you and your summons will gangbang this dude. You can have real problems in this game if you don't want to clear the same dungeons for the 100th time, that are full of punchback bosses, that you killed 10 times, or who once were basic mobs. But if you clear them, and if you a bit, just a little bit, are over level than the main big bosses of this arena, you and your body can easily run them down. Especially in early game. You will have problems in this game if you will use regular weapons without Ashes of War. If you, just like me, like to play solo and with regular weapons, or if you like to experience with weapons, in late game you will suffer a lot. But if you use summons, meta slave Ashes of Wars, bleed weapons, and 10,000 buffs, and if you grind even for a bit, just a little bit, you can easily beat any boss in this game. The second easiest game is Bloodborne. Bloodborne was the last Soulsborne game I played, and I swear to you, many people very exaggerate when they say that Bloodborne is a hard game. What are the main arguments of people who say that this game is hard? First one is that combat speed is very high, and that you can just face tank mobs and bosses with huge armor and shield. And the last one is actually fair. I agree that you can just face tank bosses and mobs with huge shield. Secondly, that bosses in this game are very challenging, especially in DLC. And first of all, this game's combat speed is not that high. Before I played any Souls games, I played Devil May Cry 3, 4, 5 and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And I swear to you, compared to Devil May Cry combat speed, any Soulsborne games, yes, even Sekiro, is just a slow motion fight. Secondly, there are Bloodborne fans. Have you played any Dark Souls games as a thief? Because there is just no way anyone can say that Bloodborne is harder than any Dark Souls game as a thief. Third, in this game parry is 10 times easier than in Dark Souls games, and even I, who sucks at parries, while playing this game for the first time, parried Father God's coin over and over until he became a big dog. Now about bosses. I swear to you, if you played Bloodborne, and if you say that this game has a hard bosses, you either never played any Souls games or are just lying. Many people non-stop spammed me that Father God's coin, Ludwig or Orphan are harder than all Dark Souls games bosses combined, and when I fought them for the first time, I nearly fell off a chair. Why? Well, because they are very, very pathetic and helpless. You know how many attempts I need on these hardcore bosses? Well, let's count a few of them. Father Gascoigne, 3 times. Mainly because I was stuck 24/7 in these stupid graves and he wombo comboed me over and over. Ludwig got easy R1 spammed. No, he didn't got spammed. He got fucking spanked over and over without him being able to fight back properly. And in land my thoughts were this. Wait, is that it? Is this a joke? How is it over so fast? Am I over level? Or do I have OP runes? Well, sorry if I have OP runes, but in order to get my runes, I had to whoop my own ass in Chalice in order to get them. Orphan died on my second attempt, same with Lady Maria, and many, many more. The only bosses who I didn't just R1 spam were Lawrence, German, and Logarius, and each of them killed me 7 times. Other than that, where you can have any problems. Locations? Well, yeah, there are a few very annoying locations. Say hello to Fishing Hamlet, Yarnam, this location with these bastards, and Forest, in which there are just way too many basic mobs. But other than them, meh. I will say one thing, and I want you to take it seriously. The hardest thing in Bloodborne is to beat other hunters. Holy shit, how hard I hate fighting enemy NPC in this game. It's not even funny. They unironically take less damage than bosses. Many basic mobs, not all of them, can be easy killed with just R1 spam. Or you can just say, nah, fuck you all, I am running for my life, and run away from them. What else? Boss runbacks? Besides Lawrence, Logarius, and least sons of bitches, whose runback is longer than boss fight itself, I can't remember having any problems with boss runbacks. And that's basically it. Now Sekiro. I know this one will surprise a lot of you, but let me explain. What are the hardest moments in Sekiro? Boss fights and that's it. No, I'm not joking, that's basically it. In this game, you can speedrun locations and swing like a monkey on trees, and you won't lose anything. I swear to you, on this playthrough, I on purpose avoided all basic mobs if it was possible. And I didn't lose anything, because in this game, there just is no purpose to kill basic mobs. When you kill basic mobs, they will drop you money for a very situational arm tools and XP for a very useless combat art. No, really, the most useful thing you can get are firecrackers and a hat, and that's kinda it. As soon as you kill monkeys, you will get Mortal Draw, which is objectively the best combat art in this game. Many people say that combat is very hard and you need 2 brain and 6 arms in order to play this game properly, and this is a huge bullshit. In this game, as soon as you realize that, oh, I can just spam parry button over and over in a boss fight, and once or twice R1 and I will win, the difficulty suddenly disappears. Yes, I am exaggerating a bit, but not that hard, to be honest with you. Now about boss fights. Believe it or not, but the only reason Sekiro is hard is because of Sekiro himself. First of all, this game is just not fair towards the player, because unless you study perfectly what boss will do perfectly, you have a very low amount of chances against them. Well, just to give you an example, Ishin has 2 Mikiri moves. One is a spin and the other is dash, and unless you receive the punch at least 2 times, you won't be able to know what you should do in order to avoid these moves. Also, one of the main problems is that you have to play this game with just hit parry strategy. Unlike Dark Souls games, you can't really outplay bosses in Sekiro. The only exceptions are Guardian Ape and maybe all on rooftop, but other than that, other bosses who aren't just the decoration bosses absolutely force you to know their moves perfectly. Yes, you can try to use a different arm tools and combat art combinations, but to be honest with you, 95% of all these combinations are just either situational or just useless. Secondly, let's talk about Sekiro himself. Originally, I wanted to call Sekiro the most helpless main character among all Souls-like games, but after thinking for a while and after playing Lies of P, I realized that compared to Carlo, Sekiro is a fucking Zeus who can tear apart anything on his way. The problem with Sekiro as a playable character is that he does a very low amount of damage, while he dies from 2 hits from any enemy in this game. And yes, I am fully aware that there are nerds who do soul level 1 Mikiri counters only, but please don't type bullshit like that under my videos. I don't care how another nerd plays this game on his 10,000 attempt. Realistically saying, this game is hard because you have a very small rooms for mistakes. You do a joke amount of damage while you are dying in 2 hits, and because you are forced to play with only one style: hit, hit, parry, hit, hit, parry, and then jump, or dash. Okay, to be completely fair, are bosses in this game hard? Yes, but this video's name isn't top 5 bosses who banged me yesterday night at 2 PM. This video's title is the hardest from Soul game, and in Sekiro, besides boss fights, there is just nothing hard about this game, like absolutely nothing. The same thing about Dark Souls 3. In this game, besides bosses, I can't really imagine anyone having a real problems in this game. There are many reasons for that. First of all, among all From Software characters, Ashen one is the tankiest one. You might say that Tarnished will 60 vigor, will a few heal amulets, and will Morgoth's rune, can easily have 2.6k health. Yes, but what's the point of 2.6k health if you will get two-shotted by one anime move? If you level up vigor, equip a few heal increasing amulets, and if you use Ember, you won't get one or two-shotted by one random move in Dark Souls 3. Well, besides Aldrich arrows, but come on, if you got hit by that, you deserve it. Second reason is that Ashen one, unlike other Dark Souls main characters who are helpless disabled monkeys with asthma, is very fast and you can just, no jokes, roll out most of the time. And also because of broken poise, basic mobs can be easy stunlocked. Yes, so are you, but still. Also, to be honest with you, bosses in Dark Souls games are not as hard as many people say. For example, Dark Souls 3 was my first Souls-like game ever, and besides a few bastards, I banged most of them. No jokes, on Pontius bosses in this location, I spent more time than on 90% of all bosses from Dark Souls 3. Yes, on my second playthrough, I got wrecked on a few bosses, but still. Runbacks in Dark Souls 3 are also very easy. Yes, sometimes they are long, but not challenging at all. You are just running forwards and that's it. Why is Dark Souls 3 above than Sekiro then? Well, because of these two sons of bitches who killed me more time than all Sekiro bosses combined on my first playthrough. Bronze medal goes to Dark Souls 1. Yes, in this game bosses are just a joke. If you play as a tank, will I unga you bunga. In this game, if you play as a full tank or as a knight with huge shield, you can face tank every single boss of Dark Souls 1. But like I said earlier, this video isn't about only bosses. The thing that makes Dark Souls 1 a hard game for me are runbacks and especially locations. The runbacks to bosses like Gwyn, Nito, Manus, Bed of Chaos, Sith, Pinwheel, and many more are just nuts. And not only that, even with shortcuts, runbacks to bosses like Capra Demon or Four Kings are just way too long. Not to mention bosses that I named earlier. The hardest thing about Dark Souls 1 are basic mobs and locations. I don't think that anyone will disagree that basic mobs like Bonewell skeletons, big cats, mushrooms, archers in Duke's Archive, skeleton dogs, and many more are harder than most bosses in this game. Now about locations. If you played this game without guides, you know what I mean. Locations like Top of the Giants, New London, Catacombs, Blighttown, Sans Fortress, and many more are a nightmare to beat. I swear to you, any of these locations without tutorials are harder than anything Elden Ring and Bloodborne can offer you. Because you can just say catch me if you can and run away. If you do that, you will be teleported to a bonfire. Because Chosen Undead is very slow and immobile character. So yeah, the fact that in this game you are getting banged by locations themselves and by many basic mobs make this game hard for me. Now let's talk about Demon Souls. If you played at least one Dark Souls game, I can hardly imagine anyone having a real problems in this game. This is what I originally wanted to say, but after remembering my journey on PS3, yeah, locations in this game are just so brutal, oh my god. 5-1 and 5-2 alone are harder to beat than all locations and a few bosses in Sekiro, Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 combined. I raged so hard in the stupid worlds, and not only in them. The situation with basic mobs is no better. I will name you a few of these basic mobs and tell me how easy they are to beat. Bonewell Skeleton's Grandpas, Reapers, these big nose bastards, Shadow Lurkers, Storm Bastards, and of course these sons of bitches whose creator I want to wish one thing. Also, in some locations you can encounter with black phantoms and pray that you won't meet them while you're getting chased. In this game, if you don't use one specific ring, half of your health is just removed. It's gone. And even if you equip this ring, you still won't have 1/4 of your health. In order to restore your health fully, you have to either eat one candy or beat a boss of this location. If you didn't play Demon Souls, I will give you advice. Don't you ever dare to use this stone to restore your health. And as soon as you kill bosses, teleport in Nexus and just jump. Why? Well, because if you at least one die in any location in a human body, enemies will do more damage. And if you die in a human form 3 times in any location, have fun fighting more Black Phantoms, while basic mobs will do unreasonably more amount of damage, while you will do less damage. The situational boss runbacks is no better. The runbacks to Flame Lurker, Man-Eaters, the Old Hero, King Alant and more are just nuts. Yes, I know that there are shortcuts, but not everywhere. The runbacks to Old Hero and Old King Alant were just oh boy. I spent much more attempts on runbacks than on bosses themselves. And yes, I know that there is a shortcut to Alant, but I didn't find it on my own. And I all the time had to run through Imperial Spies, Blue Knights, Fed Officials and Lisa Blue Dragon. Also in this game you are spending many souls on heals, because unlike Dark Souls games, there is no Estus. And also, let's talk about equip load. In this game, if you have a full equip load, you won't be able to pick up your loot. In this game, there is 2 equip load parameters. One is responsible for your roll, and the other is responsible for how to say it properly. Maximum equip load of your loot, I would say. Okay, so imagine you have 100 equip load capability, and if you equip load capability is a fill, you won't be able to pick up loot. And after you rest on a bonfire or die, this loot will be gone. Yes, I know that in Remake they reworked this mechanic, but I played this game on PlayStation 3, so yeah. Useful weapon variety in this game also sucks doo-doo. The only easy thing about this game are bosses. I ran down nearly every single boss in this game. The only boss that can give you any trouble in this game are Man-Eaters, mainly because of their stupid arena, which is just unreasonably small. The most effective way to beat them without magic is to equip the biggest sword that you can find in Dragon God's boss arena and mark it at least on +3, and hope that they will have brain lags and want to gangbang you or will throw you from this location. Now this one will shock a lot of you, but to be honest with you, I consider Dark Souls 2 as the hardest From Software game, and here is why I think like that. The reason why Dark Souls 2 is so hard is very simple. First of all, boss runbacks in this game are just mamma mia, have mercy. Runbacks to Boss Melter Demons, Sir Alon, Ancient Dragon, Luden Zalen, well studied Norwegian Dark Souls 2, or runback to Zombie Horse are just nuts. You might say that long runbacks are bad things, and yes, you are correct, but the thing is that it's a part of this game, and you can just ignore it. Also, to be fair, like I said earlier in my video, boss runbacks in Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls are no better, but the thing is that Dark Souls 2 has the biggest amount of brutal runbacks. In this game, locations, most of the time, are very easy, but the thing is that you are getting gangbanged 24/7. In Iron Keep, in any DLC, Aldia's Keep, Wrangly Castle and many more, you are just getting jumped by 10 enemies at the same time. And unless you have Ultra Great Sword, your only option in this moment is to lay on the ground and ask them to be gentle. In this game, just like in Demon Souls, you lose your health a bit after each death, and also main character needs eternity in order to heal. The situational mobs is no better. I will name a few mobs and tell me what you think about them. Hade Knights, Elon Knights, Fire Salamandras, Giants, Hippos, and many more. Yeah, I think the answer to it is very obvious. Now about bosses. In this game, many, like a shitload of them, are just a punchbag bosses who you can just run down. But as funny as it might sound, in this game, there are also many very annoying sons of bitches. Bosses like Smelter Demon, Pursuer, Ava, Luden Zalen, Vendrick, Ancient Dragon, Sir Alon, and Ruin Sentinels gave me more trouble than I want to admit. Each of these bosses killed me more time than any boss in Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and Dark Souls 1, besides these 4 bosses. And I won't even want to talk about Fume Knight. Oh my fucking god, what he did to me on my first playthrough. Oh my god, it's not even funny. I died on him 50 fucking times, and even now I consider him as the second hardest boss in all From Software games. So yeah, that's basically it. Type under my video what do you think about my top, or which game were hardest for you. With this, I'll say bye bye to you and I will see you next time.